New information this morning about Minneapolis police officer Mohamed Noor. He is the man who shot and killed Australian bride-to-be Justine Damon. The city of Minneapolis has released Noor's employment and training records. Melissa Colorado's in the newsroom now with a closer look at that background information. Hi, Melissa.
Hi there, Kim. We are learning Officer Mohamed Noor. He had a variety of jobs before enrolling in the police academy. He worked as a hotel manager and as a salesman selling cell phones at one point. But more importantly, these newly released records, they shed more light into his police training. Now, Officer Mohamed Noor, he joined the police academy in March of 2015, and he was sworn in as officer later that year. His training records show he trained to prepare for an active shooter situation in anticipation of the Super Bowl coming to Minneapolis next year. This year, he also passed an annual course on semi-automatic handgun and shotgun testing. And last year, he went through another course, and this one focused on shotgun and defensive tactics. Now, the records also show that Officer Noor, he went through crisis intervention training, and that teaches officers to de-escalate encounters when they respond to a call that might involve someone with mental health problems. And while Officer Noor has refused to talk to investigators, one witness has come forward, a bicyclist who was near the alley at the time of the shooting. That person has talked to investigators, and the bicyclist is said to have witnessed the officers perform CPR on Justine, but it's not clear if that person saw the actual moment that she was shot. And Minnesota Public Radio is reporting they have their hands on a BCA search warrant, and it gives some insight into the loud sound that officers heard before the shooting happened. Now, we'll have more on that next at 6:30. Kim?
Melissa, thank you. And of course, we know the police body cams were not turned on during this event. We'll get more information this week about the Minneapolis Police Department's body camera technology and procedures. City council members have a briefing set for tomorrow following an audit of those body cams.
We're learning new details in the horrifying case of human trafficking in Texas that left 10 dead. Federal investigators are looking for more suspects connected to this smuggling ring. The driver of the truck, 60-year-old James Bradley, is facing federal charges of illegally transporting immigrants in what amounted to a death trap, and Bradley could face the death penalty if convicted. He says he was unaware of the truck's contents.
And they're willing to risk their lives for their kids and for their family members.
The Mexican consulate in San Antonio has been working to identify the victims and the survivors. This afternoon, there will be a town hall meeting in St. Paul concerning human trafficking. The meeting is to discuss ways to educate and empower survivors. The FBI has said the Twin Cities is one of 13 U.S. cities with a high incidence of human trafficking, mainly young girls. The meeting is at 1 o'clock at Metropolitan State University.
President Trump tweeting early this morning, lashing out at his own attorney general. President says Jeff Sessions has taken a very weak position on what the president calls Hillary Clinton crimes.
Let me be very clear. I did not collude with Russia, nor do I know of anyone else in the campaign who did so.
That's the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, denying any collusion with Russia during the 2016 election. He says his father-in-law, President Trump, won fair and square. Those remarks come after Kushner's closed-door meeting with the Senate Intelligence Committee yesterday. Ellery McCardle joins us now. And Ellery, as I understand it, Jared Kushner is set to answer some questions again today.
Yes, he is, Kim, and this time he'll be in front of the House Intelligence Committee. And this time when he talks about his contacts with the Russians, he'll do so under oath. Now, Kushner, who's the president's senior advisor, released an 11-page memo detailing those meetings, including one with Donald Trump Jr. and a Russian lawyer promising dirt on Hillary Clinton. Kushner says it was a waste of time, though. Yesterday, Kushner was questioned in a closed-door meeting with the Senate Intelligence Committee. He denied trying to set up a secret block with the Kremlin.
Donald Trump had a better message and ran a smarter campaign, and that is why he won. Suggesting otherwise ridicules those who voted for him.
And President Trump just tweeted about this moments ago, saying, quote, Jared Kushner did very well yesterday in proving he did not collude with the Russians. He called it a witch hunt, and he said, next up, 11-year-old Barron Trump, his son, of course. Well, some lawmakers say Kushner's answers are not good enough, and they want him to testify in an open hearing.
All right, we'll be tuned in for that. Thank you, Ellery. Now, the House is expected to vote on a bill that would slap new sanctions on Russia, Iran, as well as North Korea. That bill would demand President Trump get congressional permission before he lifts or eases any economic penalties against those countries. Senator John McCain returning to Washington today. Big news. He'll be working on the Senate's version of the health bill and the bill that we just mentioned as well. He'll also take the procedural vote on that health care reform. The surprise move comes days after Senator McCain was diagnosed with an aggressive form of brain cancer. And we'll have more on that vote. That's coming up at 6:30. Tim?
Thank you, Kim. Time is now 6:07. The starting rotation for your Minnesota Twins is about to get another shuffle after the Twins pick up Jaime Garcia in a trade with Atlanta and send Kyle Gibson down to the minors. Now, the other question, will Bartolo Colon stay with the team or call it a career? Colon had said a no decision in his second start with the Twins late last night against the Dodgers. He threw 4 scoreless innings before giving up back-to-back home runs in the 5th. Colon said previously if last night's start did not go well, he would consider retirement, but Gibson's demotion seems to indicate that Colon will be sticking around. Twins lose 6-4 last night to the Dodgers, falling to the 500 mark for the first time since April 11th. They are now 3.5 games behind Cleveland, 2 back of Kansas City. The Royals now hold that second wild card spot. Dave Chappelle's in town performing to sold-out crowds at Ice House this week, and the T-Wolves decided to welcome Chappelle by relentlessly trolling him. This is Brick James, a minute-long video of Chappelle missing shots at Target Center a few years ago. The caption, "Thanks to those bricks you laid back in 2013, the Target Center renovation is almost complete." I think that was all in good nature.
Of course it was. Yes. Nobody here snapped up tickets to the Dave Chappelle show.
Because they sold out in seconds.
Yeah.
Yes. Crazy.
By bots. But you can buy them for $500?
Sure.
Yeah.
I got some thunder showers south of the metro this morning. Still some pretty good downpours there around the Northfield area. And then a line of some showers and thunderstorms off to the west. If those hold together, could get into the metro here over the next couple of hours. A midday break from that, and then more evening thunderstorms develop. That's when we have the potential for some heavier rainfall and maybe some stronger storms later in the evening.
And it looks like a crash just cleared along 494 westbound at Bush Lake Road. We had a car deep in the ditch. Traffic back to normal speeds this morning. Looks like also we've had a few crashes this morning, you guys. 35W northbound a crash, as well as one that looks like it either popped up along 394 or Highway 55. I'm gonna have to zoom in on that and try to get some more information, update you guys here in just a little bit. If you take public transportation, you could soon pay more for your ride. A fare increase proposal was approved by a committee yesterday, with a final vote coming tomorrow. If approved, rates would go up 25 cents for buses and light rails, 50 cents for metro mobility. It would take effect October 1st. It would also be the first fare increase since 2008.
Probably do.
Coming up, would you do this? A company implanting chips into its employees. Yes, right into their bodies. And some of them say they're okay with it.
Left stranded, passengers at a Sun Country's flight demand answers after they were left sitting on a plane for hours in the middle of the night.
And hitting a sour note, singer Peter Frampton stops off the stage while doing a show here in Minnesota.
Naps, we all love them. Some need them more than others, but what about taking one at work? Well, take our poll by going to KARE11.com/vote now.